morning everybody. We have got a really exciting day today. I'm trying to get this in just before the tiler appears because we are getting our fireplace tiled. These are our tiles, we've got our grout and our adhesive. So I thought I'd show you little snippets through the day. He's actually just arrived, so I'll leave you there. All right, it is now about 8 hours later and he has actually got some tiles on the roll. And he has got some tiles on the He has got some tiles on the wall on day one, which I guess is not unexpected, but here they are. Look at that. Oh my God. The shine on those tiles. And he's also done the mitres on all of those ones along there. He spent a lot of the day like mapping out how far along to put things and how they'd end at the bottom and all this sort of stuff. But this is what we landed on. And I think they look incredible. I'm so happy with it. This is just such a big deal. We've been wanting to do this since, well, it was the first thing I designed in this house, before the kitchen, before the bathrooms. This was always on the mood board. So I'm so happy that we finally, well, nearly have it. He said it's going to take about 5, maybe 6 days to get it done, which is absolutely fine, but does mean it will be next week's video that you get to see it finished. But honestly, I'm so pleased. Something else that's happened that's really exciting that I did just pay for, so it is happening, is, I don't know if I actually did this a few weeks ago. I think I spoke about how I really don't like this curtain rail. So we got this because at night time, this is just basically a stage. So we needed something to hang curtains on. And originally I was going to build a pelmet, which is like a wooden thing that goes over the top of this to cover this ugly rail, but it doesn't work very well. The way I've hung these, I mean, I've just used clips, so I could do it better, but they keep falling down and this thing looks horrible. So I had the bright idea, and I am going to call it a bright idea, if I do say so myself, to message a metal worker. Back in the day, I used to refurb pubs and restaurants, and I worked quite a lot with metal workers to make random stuff that we needed to get done. So I don't have any down here that are known and trusted, but I found one online and I thought I'd give him a call, and the guy on the phone was really helpful. So what he's going to do is get I think he said it's going to be a banister, like a tube or a pole of mild steel. He's going to bend it and put a bracket in the middle that's solid, and then brackets either end that can be adjusted. So I guess they'll have a little like screw on or something so that we can put the curtain, what do you call them, loops on the end, and take them off again if we need to, without having to detach the entire curtains. And something that I'm going to have to do, which I have done before for fixed seating at my old job, but not very much. I wasn't very good at that. But I'm going to template the floor. So I'm going to template the curve basically, and get that over to them so they know the curve. They are not fitting it, so I asked them. Oh, I need to sneeze. I think the sneeze is gone. I asked them if they would be able to fit the rail as well, because it's going to be heavy and it's going to be tricky. And I think me and Miles struggle enough with this one that is a really light plastic rail. So a big, heavy, mild steel one is probably going to be a little bit much for us. But I think I've got a handyman for the job that I'm going to ask to quote for it, because the metal workers quoted almost as much as the pole for the fitting. So I was like, I'll find someone else. It's only a weight thing. That's the thing. These walls are a bit crumbly and I want someone who really knows what they're doing to put it up there. Another thing to note with the mild steel pole is, if you've never worked with anything like this before, when mild steel comes from the metal worker directly, it's always covered in this weird, I don't know, kind of oil. I don't know if it is oil, kind of greasy stuff that you have to wipe off, and then you have to treat the metal to stop it from continuing to be all grubby, basically. And he gave me the name of the stuff that I need to buy. It is another oil, actually, to completely finish it off. And if anyone is watching from my old job and they know better than this, because I can't really remember what we used to do, then please let me know, because I don't want to do this wrong. Anyway, I'm rambling. It's been quite a long day. I've been very productive today. That's another thing I can show you. So upstairs, I, this morning, did some finishing touches on the bathroom. So this bathroom has genuinely been the biggest bane of my life for, well, 4 or 5 months, but really for the last 2 weeks. And I have now nearly finished it. So in here, it's all painted. Sorry about the fan noise, if you can hear that. But I have finished painting it. Something that I did this morning though, is I caulked down all of the edges, which doesn't look like much, but they were quite holy, and we were always trying to work out what to do here, but I thought, fill it with caulk. None of it is like directly in water, like obviously it'll get a little bit damp, but I think that'll be fine. And then my plan tomorrow, once this dries, because it is very white, you can't really tell on that one, but maybe over here, can you see that that's whiter than the wall? So I'm going to go through, there you go, can you see that hole there? I probably need to go back over that with more caulk. But the white there compared to the white there is quite a lot brighter, so I'm going to paint over that with the wall colour, and then I've decided that the edges of the tiles I'm also going to paint the wall colour, because I think it will look the best. Matching this blue is going to be very tricky, so white it is. But I can't tell you how good this feels to finally have it like pretty much sorted. So good. I've learned a lot as well, which is always a good thing, because decorating is not my favourite thing, but we're getting there. We're getting there. There's probably been about 10 steps over probably 10 days, because you have to wait in between each of the steps. It's an absolute nightmare. Another thing I did was take some more photos for AG, and that means that this side is all empty. I mean, I've just made a tea. So, well, a matcha actually, and a coffee for the tiler before he left, but it's looking very pretty. I'll put in the photos that I took. I think it looks very nice. Nearly done with all that content now, which I'm very happy about, but oh, these tiles are just amazing. I love them so much. You know when something goes in and you're a bit wary? I knew I'd like this, but I didn't know how much. But as soon as he put like the first tile on, I was like, yeah, we made the right call, guys. Something I have done is I have ordered paint for the downstairs loo. I don't know if any of you guys remember, but we are trying to find a paint that goes with this lovely tile that used to be in the fireplace that was here. There was a fireplace there, and this was part of that fireplace. So we have some samples here, and these are the first two that I got that are quite dark. They come across a bit lighter on camera, but they're pretty dark. I was happy with dark, but they didn't, I don't know, they just didn't really, they didn't look great with this. That one there looks okay on camera, but in real life it's a bit too red compared to the thing, and then this one's just a bit dull. But in Home and Garden last week, or the week before, I saw this orange from, where is it? Edward Bulmer. It's called Malahide, and I've ordered this because although it's not as dark as the others, I think it goes well with these, and actually I think it will make it stand out. Well, can you see that the edges of these tiles has yellow coming through? I reckon that they layered glazes, because these are very old tiles. These are like 120-year-old tiles, 100-year-old tiles. So yeah, that's what we've gone with. I think it looks nice with the mirror. I think it will look very nice with the tiles. So yeah, I'm very excited for that. I think it should come in the next couple of days. So we can get started on that. Still need to do the architrave and then caulk in there, but otherwise it's ready for painting. I've done the filling. I'll probably just give everything a quick sand and then I can crack on, which will be lovely. Oh, I did get something really cool on Facebook Marketplace the other day, and it is coming tomorrow evening. So I don't know whether I'll be able to get this in. Today's Monday, and I normally post this on a Wednesday. So filming on a Tuesday evening, bit risky, but maybe I'll just put a little clip in, potentially, depending on when I edit this. But I've got a cabinet to go in the utility, and bear in mind what the utility looks like right now. Let me show you, because it is a total mess, but it is on one of the hit lists for quite soon. So this is what it looks like. Ignore our washing, but we've got our washer dryer. This is the cabinet. That's the worktop that we need to put on. But once that worktop's on, we can paint the room. And the thing that I've bought is a cabinet for up here. It was £35, and I think it's really, really cool. That's £35 including the guy coming and dropping it off at my house, which is just amazing. And I think it will look cool in there. You know, I'll be able to see it, like where that fridge is there. That's where, ignore Miles's pants. The fridge there is where the cabinet will be. So I think when that door's open, it will look really nice. Another thing I just remembered that we have done, all these things we order, but they're not actually in our world yet. But we have ordered carpets. I don't think anyone quite realises how much of a big deal this is, because we've been living with creaky old floorboards, like nails coming out of them, spiders, all this sort of stuff upstairs since we've moved in. And that's all been fine. We've had rugs on the floor and they've been all right. But yeah, we're going to get carpets in the front 2 bedrooms. But that does mean I need to get them decorated before we get the carpets in, ideally. Definitely our bedroom anyway, and then hopefully the second one. because as much as I can decorate once the carpets are down, it'll be much easier to not have to worry about the floor. And like the skirting boards and stuff, I can get like underneath them. But yeah, so that's in 2 weeks tomorrow, I think, that we're getting carpets installed, which I honestly am so excited about, because that means that we'll move into our bedroom, which I was talking to Miles's mum yesterday about this. At the minute, we sleep in the back room, but use our ensuite, which is above this room. Woe is me, right? But it basically means that when I get ready for bed, I'm in my pajamas and I've got to walk through a building site into a nice room, out into another fairly crap room. So if we can get our bedroom looking nice and lovely, like these rooms are, then once we go to bed, we're in a nice space. It sounds a bit silly, but it is annoying having to like always wear shoes and worry about dust all the time, and splinters and nails and all that sort of stuff. We try and keep on top of it now that it's only really us working here. But yeah, creaky floorboards, they're not screwed down properly. It's a bit grim. And like coming into our bedroom at night when I'm trying to go to the ensuite, it's really creepy because there's no curtains in there. It's the same windows as these. So you're very exposed to the world. For a while we had them covered in plastic because we were painting it. So that was actually all right because it gave us a bit of privacy. But yeah, need to order curtains for up there too, which that actually is probably one of the things that's going to be the most struggle. We might just get temporary ones for now. I don't know. Money, 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 money. Everything just costs so much money when you've got big windows like this. Oh yeah, something I didn't say is how much the curtain pole is costing us. So the Bespoke made mild steel, it's over 4 meters pole, I think was £423. Sounds like a lot. It's because it is. But I did some quotes online from other places making bespoke curtain rails, and they were over £1,000 for this. So I think it's a pretty good deal. Supporting local small businesses as well. So, you know, that's all good. I might finish the vlog there. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, ding the bell, hype if you can. I've seen quite a few of you have, so thank you so much for that. But otherwise, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you.